I know they said that the highest winds were reported at 64 miles an hour, and that's not helping this house fire. I want to step out of the way so you can see it. This is on South Virginia Dare Trail, just up the street from our hotel. And actually some people we met earlier from the Maryland at the hotel, they said, we smell fire outside. And I went outside, it smelled like a firecracker.
Here at Lenovo Center, it might be a little quiet compared to what it's going to sound like tonight, but almost in the distance I can hear that siren sounding because fans are going to be filling up the Lenovo Center. So we're in section 117. I want to show you this view here. We're in row D, very, very close to the ice. We actually have some action.
Oh, wow.
So this is what your view would look like if you were sitting here today. One seat, $2,400. But in the meantime, I will say, Justin and Caroline, I have my little rally towels, so I don't think I'm going to be able to get those tickets, so I can just cheer them on now. We have heard from a lot of family members who asked Judge Ridgway to his face, saying, please do not let him have this possibility of parole. And finally, this is the sentencing day that they have been waiting years for. And unfortunately, this is just the end of this specific chapter in the book of tragedy that they will face for the rest of their life, not having their loved one. Well, Sarah and Amy, everybody loves a snow day, but I don't know if you would like this snow day here. The winds are pushing not just any precipitation that's still falling, but all of the light, fluffy snow. And that is the big problem, is the winds. I know all through the night, my door to the porch of the hotel room was rattling. You could hear it through the AC vents, and it was even howling through the elevator shafts. If you're anything like me, maybe midnight is a little late for that acorn drop. Fortunately, there is a 7 p.m. acorn drop for the kiddos, and you can even make some friends like this. He is so cute. Look at him. Stuck on mud, the condensation inside from that water that's trapped inside. So let's give you a closer look on what it might look like inside. This car here, you can see some of that muck. I can tell you, I feel like every time the wind hits me a little bit, I have to inch forward, brace myself. This wind is relentless. There are so many excited Caniacs here. I've been talking to them for weeks now, all waiting for the chance for the Stanley Cup to be right here in Raleigh, and that's where it is. My mom is actually from South Africa. I brought some of her stuff. This is a hand-woven basket here from Swaziland, which is now called Eswatini. Seeing something like this is much different than just reading a textbook. It kind of jumps off the page. Having those experiences will allow her to teach better too to her students. Tornado out, back to you, Brittany.
Well, sort of. Okay.
How thick some of this ice is, you can hear it there. And also it's pretty slick. It's going to be a very busy day here in Durham. As Ruben mentioned, this is a race that is receiving national attention with big money and big names supporting these candidates.
A grave much too small.
He has one of the most decorated ones here.
Lined with monster trucks.
I bring out flowers, his aunt brings out flowers.
All to honor the life of 3-year-old Jessie Ray Adams.
I saw Chunky Monkey. That made me laugh when I saw that.
That is what I called him when he was a baby. He was so fat.
Christy and Jessie's father welcomed him into the world in 2008.
I was so excited. When I found out I got pregnant with him, I swore it was a girl.
Completing their family.
And I saw him and it's like, oh my God, he's so handsome and tiny.
But Christy says Jessie's father had outbursts of violence, even having him arrested. But since they weren't separated for a year, joint custody was on the table.
I was scared that if I didn't agree to it, it was going to cause him to lose it. So I agreed to it, and like I said, never thought he would hurt Jessie.
About a month later, she got a call she never expected.
He put Jessie on the phone, and he made Jessie tell me Jessie's exact words, "Mom, gonna die tonight." And he was so terrified. And I told him, I said, "No, you're not, baby. It's okay. Everything's gonna be okay." But I do remember him telling me that he was gonna hurt me like I hurt him. And then I heard that pop.
Jessie's father killed his young son before taking his own life.
The biggest thing was, I've got to get to my baby. I've got to go save my baby. But I didn't make it to save him.
Christy is now fighting to pass Jessie's law to help prevent the horror she had to endure. The act would ensure that personnel involved in child custody proceedings receive appropriate training to see the signs of domestic, child, and sexual abuse before making a decision on the placement of a child. Those who would receive the training include judges, magistrates, and mediators.
If you're not in a domestic violence situation, you have no idea what these people go through.
And as Christy fights for the law,
there's Jesse with his little Boo Bear.
There's his Boo Bear.
Yep, Boo Bear right here. That's the one it was.
It was also the clothes he wore the day before. I even have his little underwear on him.
She's carrying Jesse's memory with her.
He loved this shirt. Him and his brother had matching shirts. He loved that thing.
To make sure people never forget, and to save another child like Jesse.
With tears we cry each day, in angels' arms you were carried away. Our memories of love and laughter shall not fade. For inside our hearts you always stay.
This will be a different experience.
Dreams once locked behind barbed wire and chain-linked fences will soon be free at the Old Wayne Correctional Center.
This is the recidivism reduction campus.
Kerwin Pittman, the founder and executive director of Recidivism Reduction Educational Program Services, Inc., is leading the transformation of the center in Goldsboro.
We plan on transforming this space to where individuals come in, they're not even going to believe that it was once a prison.
Empty dormitories will be replaced with private rooms, and exposed bathrooms will be converted into private stalls.
It is extremely important for somebody transitioning out to have their own room and space, because not only does it give them a sense of autonomy and responsibility, but most importantly, it begins to reintegrate them back into society to feel more of a human being.
Pittman knows better than anyone.
Have y'all ever seen The Hole?
As he was incarcerated for 11 and a half years and spent over 1,000 days in solitary confinement in a room much like this.
Just take me back to those moments in time when I was incarcerated. And so it's me coming out of those thoughts that make me want to complete this campus even quicker, because I know that some individuals are going to need their help transitioning back like I had.
Renovations will be done in 2 phases, with the first phase welcoming some of their planned over 200 residents, and on-campus courses ranging from HVAC, cooking, and podcasting to partnerships with second chance employers.
We'll be able to funnel these individuals directly into a job. They'll stay here 6 months for free, rent-free. Towards the end of their stay here, we'll then be able to help them get housing based off of the money they've been able to save.
But each sign, cell block, and stiff basketball net leaves a big question.
So I have to ask, why did you want to buy a prison?
Crazy as it may sound, this is a thought that a lot of incarcerated people and former incarcerated people had. What if we could turn an institution or a place that we was in that held us into something that was more conducive for the people and could really help the people, right? And show the world what we can use this space for.
It's a place he wants to be used as a reclaimed space for freedom.
Oh, you can smell it, the must in here.
Exactly. So this is how solitary confinement smells. And particularly I bring people in here to not only emphasize that, but also, as you can see, the kind of, the mattresses and the different pillows that you would be issued.
He wants to remove the bars that separate society and hopes to set a standard for those who follow.
All of my experiences with incarceration, whether good or bad, prepared me for this moment. Because my lived experience of even not being able to know how to use a debit card to tap and pay, it prepared me to be able to learn it and then help other people who struggle with it. And so I went through a lot of lessons and learned a lot of things to help other people overcome those things as well.
This was the Oort cloud, my idea of the Oort cloud, which exists at the end of our solar system.
Some might call her artwork abstract.
Rap City in Blue, R-A-P space C-I-T-Y. Rap like the music, Rap City in Blue.
Others may be a little quirky.
Oh, and there's the kitties.
There's the kitties. That was my dog.
But for Lorraine Meehan,
You'd expect something here, but I deliberately left it blank because there is a hole.
it's therapeutic.
We're all broken. We all have a piece missing.
September 11th. It's the day she says she broke.
I went to this window right here, and I could see chunks of the building falling down, and they were crashing, they were sailing past me.
Forever burned in her and her husband's life.
You said that was his whole team that was down there on Ground Zero?
Yes.
9/11 would impact the world and their health,
There was ash everywhere.
and eventually cost John Meehan his life.
These are pictures that John took.
John was a special agent with the Department of Interior, sent to help in the Bucket Brigade, as the ruins smoldered, generating heat.
He and so many others took off their mask and their hazmat suit and just worked for days.
Authorities told responders the air was safe to breathe.
Maybe 2 years later that he started to get sick.
John was diagnosed with 6 of the diseases recognized by Congress in relation to 9/11.
He had a pulmonologist, a cardiologist, an ENT, a blood specialist, and so on. His health seemed to have stabilized a bit. Yet, when COVID hit in 2020, he died.
Losing her husband of 15 years.
I had to say goodbye.
According to the World Trade Center Health Program, over 2,000 North Carolinians are registered in the program, including Mian, helping cover medical expenses from related diseases.
That's what we owe them as heroes and as those who went in and served without second thought to themselves.
But now federal cuts have reduced the workforce by 20%, leaving the program and those in need in limbo.
I don't think this was the right place to cut. More and more people, as we know, are developing these illnesses.
And while the future of the program remains uncertain, she does things that bring her peace during the dark times, keeping their memory alive in each note.
I'm still alive. My purpose is not yet fulfilled.
Sydney, you've been covering over the last year now all the impacts from Chantal.
Yeah, that's right. And here at the Eno River State Park, you can still see some of those ghostly reminders, including the iconic swinging bridge still has damage on it. It's much calmer than it was during Chantal. It was still raging when I came, but there's still a lot of work to be done too. I talked to the park rangers here. They said they've never seen the water get this high, and it was really devastating for them. They didn't know if anything was going to be left of the park when they were able to return. And again, there's still some reminders. You can see some debris even still that they're actually leaving in these places for homes for the animals.
And it looks like now, almost a year after the storm, there's still a lot of work to be done.
Yeah, that's right. Another area that they're still recovering from is on their trails. A lot of them are having to be rerouted either because of trees that have fallen down or to move them away from the river. And some of the volunteers that are helping do that are the Friends of the Mountain to Sea Trail. They're helping preserve the trails, and they've said that they've learned a lot from Chantal. Let's take a listen to what they have to say.
You can look at kind of historical data to see it's going to flood right here, so let's figure out how to move the trail 10 feet to higher ground, or rebuild it a bit more sustainably so that if it does go underwater, the trail is going to be okay.
And the impacts from Chantal were wide-ranging, not just here along the Eno, but not far away. Businesses and homes in Chapel Hill were hard hit.
Yeah, that also includes the Eastgate Crossing Shopping Center, which flooded with more than 5 feet of water from nearby rivers. I did speak with a local shop owner, Sean Scott, who acquired Google Huff Bakery and Restaurant around 3 years ago, including the Chapel Hill location, which is in a known flood zone. But Chantal was a challenge he had never experienced before, despite owning a business in Florida for years. He says anything electrical, including refrigeration, was thrown out. And Scott says he's worried about the next potential flood.
If a storm rolls through, I'm going to be here. It's going to be exhausting, honestly, for storm season. I'm not looking forward to it.
Lee, Scott was one of the lucky ones, reopening just a few weeks after the storm. But according to the Federal Alliance for Safer Homes, 40% of small businesses won't reopen after a natural disaster, and 25% more small businesses will close 1 year later.
Sydney, the bakery is in an area known to flood. I wonder, when you talked to Scott, did he mention anything about being ready for the next storm?
Yeah, he did. He said that he's actually putting money away already for that rainy day because he knows it's going to come. And he hopes that the shopping center can create some type of emergency relief fund for retailers in case this happens again.
Just another way that our communities are preparing for another hurricane season. Sydney, thanks for joining me along the Eno.